Hey everybody, it's Helen Birch here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about erotic hypnosis and exploring the sensuality and sexuality through hypnosis. So erotic hypnosis is the use of hypnosis in a sexual or arousing context, and it can intersect with sensuality and sexuality in various ways. This technique involves the use of hypnosis to stimulate arousal and desire, play with sensations, control the body, and explore roleplay and transformation fantasies. In this video, I'm going to dive deeper into what erotic hypnosis is, how it works, and how to approach it safely. So it would be really helpful if you would like my video before we get into what is erotic hypnosis. So before diving deeper into erotic hypnosis, it's essential to understand the basics of hypnosis. Hypnosis is a mental state of intense concentration, and in this state a person is fully conscious and alert to their surroundings, but they tend to be more open to suggestions than when they are not in a hypnotic state. However, the person being hypnotised must give their consent, and the hypnotherapist does not have control over their mind. It's a cooperative process. Erotic hypnosis is the use of hypnosis in a sexual or arousing context, which can intersect with sensuality and sexuality in various ways. The subconscious mind controls the body, so hypnosis can easily alter the way the body moves, holds itself, or reacts to a command. It can also be used to play out an entire roleplay fantasy, imagining that that person is the role they portray, while their subconscious knows who they really are. So other useful things that erotic hypnosis can do is stimulating arousal or desire. So sexual desire and arousal are emotional states, and since hypnosis works primarily on the subconscious mind, it's very easy to cause someone to become aroused or to feel sexual desire by suggestions. In an erotic hypnosis scene, the hypnotist may use different techniques to stimulate arousal, such as guided visualization, verbal cues, or sensory stimulation. Okay, another way that you can use erotic hypnosis is through sensation play. And hypnosis is often used medically to reduce sensations, specifically pain. However, it can also be used to amplify sensations, either pain or pleasurable sensations. Sensations can be used in an erotic hypnosis session to explore different sensations and intensities, and the hypnotist may use various techniques to heighten sensations, such as focusing on specific body parts or amplifying sensory cues. Okay, so we can also use erotic hypnosis for body control. So hypnosis involves the conscious mind taking a back seat and letting the subconscious take over, making the hypnotee more open to suggestions than they would be in their normal state. In an erotic hypnosis scene, the hypnotist may use suggestions to control the body, such as commanding certain movements or altering physical sensations. You can also use erotic hypnosis for transformations and roleplay. Erotic hypnosis can be used to play out different roleplay scenarios, such as transformation fantasies or other erotic scenes. The hypnotist can guide the hypnotee to imagine themselves in different roles to alter their perception of themselves and their surroundings. It's important to note that any role play or transformation should be negotiated beforehand, and all parties should be aware of the boundaries and limits involved. Okay, another useful tool with erotic hypnosis is memory play. So forgetting who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. And finally, erotic hypnosis is excellent for orgasms. So hypnosis can be used to induce hypnotic orgasms or orgasm on command or on a trigger. So just want to explain a little bit more about erotic hypnosis and what it is. So erotic hypnosis, also known as Hypno-Kink, is a type of hypnosis that aims to stimulate sexual pleasure and arousal. It involves inducing a state of deep relaxation and focus called an erotic trance, where the hypnotized person is more receptive to suggestion and can experience heightened sexual sensations. The hypnotist uses various techniques such as guided imagery, suggestive language, and sensory stimulation to create a safe and enjoyable experience for both the hypnotist and the subject. So, how does erotic hypnosis work? An erotic hypnosis scene usually follows a specific sequence with some variation depending on the participants, their existing relationship, and habits. So the first step is negotiation, where both the hypnotist and the hypnotee discuss and agree on the scene's details, including informed consent and boundaries. So once this perimeter is established, the hypnosis process is quite straightforward. The hypnotist uses an induction to put the hypnotee into a trance and then provides suggestions for the scene or post-hypnotic instructions for later. So it is crucial to ensure that the hypnotee feels good when coming out of hypnosis and to complete aftercare properly. Again, the power of erotic trance. So one of the main benefits of erotic hypnosis is the ability to reach a state of deep relaxation and focus, which can enhance the sexual experience. When there is an erotic trance, the subject is more open and receptive to suggestion, which can allow them to explore their sexuality in new and exciting ways. It can also help to alleviate stress and anxiety, which can be barriers to sexual pleasure, and especially if you want to explore kink. It's important to note that while hypnosis can be a powerful tool, it should always be practiced with safety and consent in mind. The hypnotist should establish clear boundaries and have a plan for ending the session if necessary. Additionally, it's important for both the hypnotist and the subject to communicate openly and honestly throughout the session. Okay, so exploring Hypno-Kink. So there are many different ways to explore Hypno-Kink depending on your individual preferences and desires. So some people enjoy the sensation of being controlled or dominated, while others prefer to focus on sensory stimulation and pleasure. So the person who is being the hypnotist can tailor the session to the individual's preference and work together to create a safe and enjoyable experience. One common technique used in erotic hypnosis is trigger words, which are specific words and phrases that the hypnotist uses to trigger a particular response in the subject. So, for example, the hypnotist may use the word pleasure to induce feelings of sexual pleasure and arousal. And these trigger words can be used both during the session and in everyday life to create a sense of heightened sexual awareness. Another technique used in Hypno-Kink is guided imagery, which involves using descriptive language to create a vivid mental image. For example, the hypnotist may guide the subject through a fantasy scenario, such as being in a beautiful and exotic location, to create a sense of relaxation and pleasure. Okay, so next I'm just going to talk a little bit about consent and safety. So the main question I get asked is, can erotic hypnosis ever be safe and moral? So the answer is certainly. It's possible to engage in erotic hypnosis with informed consent and awareness of potential risks involved. Erotic hypnosis is considered a form of edge play, which means there is a possibility of unexpected outcomes. And it's important for both parties to acknowledge the possibility of things not going as planned and trust each other to handle any situation that may arise in a mature and responsible manner. Mistakes can happen, especially if you are both amateurs, but it's up to the individuals involved to take responsibility and to work towards a solution. So, what to do if you have been a victim of erotic hypnosis abuse? So, someone who knowingly or willfully violates negotiation limits, ignores the need to obtain consent, or otherwise acts against the interest of their scene should be held accountable for their choices. If you are sure the incident was intentional and the offender is a member of a local community group that you belong to, then speak to the leader or leaders of the group. If you think that you have been a victim of a crime and that the law has been broken, then you should contact the police or your local law enforcement. For people interested in erotic hypnosis, how can they approach it safely? So, as the hypnotist, it's crucial to take responsibility for your partner's physical, mental, and emotional well-being during your session. This involves carefully planning and having reasonable caution to prevent any mishaps. By doing so, you demonstrate your concern for your partner's welfare and create a relaxed, enjoyable atmosphere. To ensure a safe and comfortable environment, it's important that you first establish boundaries and consent, you discuss any fears or apprehensions, and you share any past trauma, and also agreeing on a safe word. So while basic hypnotic skills are sufficient for some purposes, clear and concise language is essential for erotic hypnosis. Communication and negotiation are key to building trust and ensuring a positive experience for both parties. There are lots of erotic hypnosis communities which can be found online or even in your local area. And if you are unsure about starting erotic hypnosis, then these are a great place to start your journey, as they will have strict guidelines to follow and will teach their members how to explore erotic hypnosis safely. Additionally, a kink-friendly hypnotherapist can also teach people how to explore this safely. So if you are using an online audio file, then you need to ensure that these have been produced by a trained erotic hypnotist. Do your research, ask in community groups and forums if anyone has any recommendations, listen to the audio beforehand to check for any language or suggestions that you may feel uncomfortable with. And basically, if you're listening to it and it doesn't feel good, trust your gut and just find something else to listen to. As with any sexual activity, consent and safety are paramount when practicing erotic hypnosis. Both the hypnotist and the subject should establish clear boundaries and communicate openly and honestly throughout the session. It's important to remember to have a plan for ending the session if necessary and to always prioritise the well-being of all parties involved. It's worth noting that hypnosis is not a substitute for therapy or medical treatment. While it can be a powerful tool for exploring and enhancing sexuality, it should not be used as a replacement for professional help. If you require professional help, then you really should seek out a sex therapist or other form of therapist who can offer you help and suggestions. So, in conclusion, erotic hypnosis can be a powerful tool for exploring and enhancing sexual pleasure. When practiced safely and consensually, it can help individuals to reach a state of deep relaxation and focus, and to explore their sexuality in new and exciting ways. So whether you're a seasoned Hypno-Kink enthusiast or are simply curious about this unique form of sexual exploration, it's important to approach it with an open and respectful mindset and to prioritise safety and consent at all times. So if you have ever considered learning to do erotic hypnosis with your partner, it is a great way to deepen your connection and explore your sensuality together. I will leave the link for my website where you can learn more about how I can teach you erotic hypnosis and provide coaching for you to do with your partner. And to find out more about erotic hypnosis and how I can help you learn it, then please do get in touch, again using the link below. I think that's everything for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, but bye for now. Thank you.